Hello, wanderers and murderers. This is Abbey with Mandy, Cameron, and JT, delivering the first installment of a saga in which I paranormally investigate a dear friend's haunted house. But the story wouldn't be complete if I didn't also tell you about her. I believe any avid paranormal fan or knowledgeable enthusiast listening will come to agree she may be a sensitive individual. And so today, we'll share some of her amazing stories from throughout her life, as well as my infamous possessed phone story, because the two are related. So strap in, relax, turn down the lights, and enjoy.
There is a medicine story that tells of Crow's fascination with her own shadow. She kept looking at it, pecking at it until her shadow woke up and became alive. Then Crow's shadow ate her. Crow is dead Crow now. Join us as we attempt to look through the wandering crow's eye to find the gateway to the supernatural, to seek to know the unknowable mysteries of creation. Welcome to the Wandering Crow Podcast.
Welcome, wanderers and murderers, to another episode of The Wandering Crow. This is Abby.
This is Mandy.
It's JT.
And this is Cameron.
And today we're delivering a special interstitial episode.
Would you say, Abby, that another way to describe these episodes might not be interstitial, but might be liminal?
Oh, liminal episodes. Nice.
Liminal episodes. Not quite season 2, not quite season 3. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Trying to use my radio voice.
Love it. Listeners, this is Abby coming to you from Post. I just want to share that initially, as I'm discussing and sharing the stories, I am withholding of my friend's name. But I have since clarified that I do have her permission to use her name. And so my friend's name is Betsy. And I just want to plug it in right here that basically the vast majority of the information that I'm sharing with you in this episode today, I learned in one sitting over, coffee and snacks with Betsy at a cafe. And to sum it up for you, outline it for you, I start with sharing some of the specific stories, then the story of my possessed phone.
Oh boy.
Whoa.
And then after I cover all of that, I actually read through what I call her ghost notes to you all. Without further delay, here's the episode as we recorded it. Enjoy. Okay, so to start, I will say that honestly, the possessed phone thing, I think, happened like one of the first times I ever actually discussed paranormal with this person. They are a family member, like a little bit removed, and they're older generation. We spend time together going to brunch, catching up, staying in touch just because it's a lot of fun. And at first, we never really talked about paranormal. It wasn't until I joined this podcast and started learning stuff that somehow the topic came up. And in all these years that I've known this person, she just kind of kept that to herself. And then once she realized that I was into talking about it, it was like I unlocked like this new level of our friendship and getting to know her deeper too.
That's so cool.
So we met up at a little cafe where she brought her, I call them ghost notes. I don't think she has a name for it, but she has a little notebook where she literally just documents, she just pencils down the date and what happened. Point being, so much activity happens in her house that she just decided a few years ago when she noticed it really pick up, she decided to document it as it goes.
Is there a specific type that happens more than others?
Yes, there is. And there's a few types of things that happen more than others. I would say one, she sees movement on one of her walls. One of the walls in the house will move and the pictures near or on the wall will also move.
Is that like the picture itself, or the wall itself is moving, or is it like shadows?
She says that the wall gets wavy.
Okay.
Wavy. The way she describes it, one of our family members suggested that perhaps, she's got vertigo, because vertigo will make things look wavy or weird to you. And so that's how she describes it. The wall kind of gets weird and gets wavy, but the pictures will move. So one of the pictures is actually a picture of an iris, like a flower, and the way that that it's portrayed in the image, it does almost look like it has like a humanoid form, as if it was a person wearing like bell sleeves, and she says it will dance. There's other pictures where the mouths will move, or there's one where it's a little boy, maybe from Eritrea or Ethiopia. This all has to do with the line of work she was in for many, many years. She worked for a facility that helped refugee children was their thing, either get into foster care or reunited with their families in America. Aww. So she worked with refugees all throughout her career. And so she has these sort of like worldly memorabilia that hold specific significance to her regarding places where these children came from. She has a statue from Eritrea that she saw at an antique shop, and she was like, oh my God, that is absolutely made from Eritrea, I can tell. And she bought it, and it's like a little man with a pipe in his mouth, and she says the mouth will move like he's puffing on the pipe.
Whoa.
And there's another one of the child, and they're like reaching a hand out to like another person, maybe on a bus or something, and like the child moves or the hands move or something, as if they're reaching toward each other. Anyway, so that's this one wall where this statue or these pictures seem to come to life. And then the other most common things to happen in the house are that she will walk into her bedroom. She makes her bed every day, just kind of tidies it up, and it's all straight. She will walk into her bedroom at the end of the night and find that the corner of her bed sheet has been turned down, like a turn down service.
Whoa.
And this happens fairly frequently. Sometimes in short succession, sometimes months will go by, but it happens a lot. It's happened many times in a year, in all the years that she's lived there. It's probably one of the most often recurring things. In addition, one of the other most recurring things is that little statues get turned around. Specifically, when I say statues, I mean like Halloween decoration. I think she has like some sort of Halloween related, it's like the see, hear, speak kind of like some sort of statue.
Okay.
And there's 3 of them. And she came downstairs, and one of them would be turned around and she'd fix it. And then one of the other ones would be turned around and she'd fix it, and then come back down again, and like all 3 of them would be turned around. So she says something's turning her statues around. Right now, she has little Christmas gnomes decorating her staircase, which is open to the living room, and the gnomes are arranged individually on different steps facing out toward the living room. And here is a recording of her telling me about what's going on with these gnomes.
Yeah, okay, the little gnomes on the edge. Oh, I got the dad and the mom, the little kid, It's cute. It's my decoration.
They're your Christmas.
So I came down, I don't remember when. Oh, it was the last couple weeks ago. And one little gnome has his little legs crossed like that. I said to him, oh, that's nice. Early on, when I first put them up, one in the middle I have their little legs dangling, was kind of open a little bit.
Oh, scandalous.
And yeah.
Well,
and I just left it.
When I was there doing the spirit box session on full moon, the first one lower was turned around.
Turned around. Exactly. Yeah. Was turned around.
One of them got turned around. One of them, she came down and the little legs were crossed. So something's playing with her little dolls. So going back though, she and I got together one of the first times that I ever really got to pick her brain about what's going on, we got together at a coffee shop in town, and she brought her ghost notes with her, and we talked about her childhood, and we talked about her history beyond the house and things that she has seen or that paranormal experiences that she's been through. For instance, she has a story where
I must have been in my 20s, and I had my boyfriend laying on the couch sleeping, and I was over on the opposite end of the room watering a plant that looked just like that.
Okay,
A big
vine.
tall vine, bent over, and somebody went like this.
Touched you
yes.
on your shoulder
and I
firmly.
Firmly.
Squeezed your shoulder.
Squeezed my shoulder. And I thought it was Steve. Like, and I looked, and I kind of went like this, and I see him, and he's on the couch, and so I went, ah! I screamed, and he jumps up. I go, somebody touched me on my shoulder. And that was kind of my first, well, there must have been more that I didn't notice as much, but this was a squeeze on my shoulder. And so I remember telling my parents about it. My mom goes, oh, it was probably my dad, because I had left. I was on my own now. I wasn't living with a group of people from college in the house. I was alone. And she said, well, I did talk to my father. He didn't respond. She goes, yeah, I did tell my dad to watch out for you. So that would be my grandfather on my mother's side.
But then there's another one, not quite the same. It was some time ago. She was alone at home. She was standing in her kitchen, and she felt this sort of ominous presence in the room with her. And then this old friend, a person she hadn't been in touch with for years, popped into her head clear as day, just for whatever reason. And she had a weird feeling about that incident. And she doesn't quite remember all the details of the story, but...
Oh, right.
What was that
I don't
story?
know. I can't think of who it is. But now I remember yes, somebody died. And I think they came, the spirit, before going off. But it was, I had a lot of people die.
Yeah.
I've known a lot of people. Yeah, popped into my head right away. Well, I remember asking people, do you ever hear from so-and-so? Oh, no. And then one person said, I already died. And then I thought, he came, whoever it was came in through me to say goodbye. Because it popped into my head, just like you said. And I didn't write anything down then.
Right.
And I wish I could remember who it was.
Holy shit.
So she believes that for whatever reason, when he died, his presence was there around
Yeah.
her.
That makes sense to me.
Closest person that might be able to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So oddly enough, actually, this exact sort of thing has happened to her more than once in her adult life. Recall in that first story, there's a boyfriend sleeping on the couch. Well, when I first asked her, hey, what was that story about the person that you think maybe came to visit you when they died? And she actually told me a different one than what I was thinking of.
For years and years and
He
years.
died.
And then you went to, what was that story?
Well,
Didn't something happen?
Well, that's the same guy on the couch.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's creepy as
And
that.
his name was Steve? Shut your
O'Loughlin.
face.
Steve O'Loughlin.
Later in this spirit box session, Betsy, somebody, I hear the name Steve numerous times.
Oh.
Abby, are you one of Betsy's friends? Susie comes through very clearly.
That'd be another
Then a Steve and
Steve.
understand me. What's your name? Box, whisper, static, Steve.
Yeah. So he ended up, we broke up because he was an artist and a pothead and really drank a lot. So I just thought, oh, let's just be friends. And he was sad. And then he met a flight attendant who, through a friend, and they were married this whole time. And they lived in the South. And, every now and then he would, email me because I was at work. He knew my email. We'd chit chat, but not often. But I knew that he was attached to me in a way, not an inappropriate way.
Right.
But over the years, and then I wouldn't hear from him again. And then he showed up visiting friends with his little boys. He had 2 little boys, adorable. And he said, "Hey, can I come see you?" And I go, "Sure." So he comes over, knocks on the door. Anyway, and he came in. They were all playing. He was telling me about his life, da 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 da. And I said, "Well, there's a park across the street. Do you want to go?" I mean, you take the kids. I was doing something, and he took all 3. He took And his boys, and he played with them in the park for a while. Then he came back and he said, oh, yeah, I just want to see you and see how you're doing. He gave me a hug, and that was that. So when he died, his wife called me. She says, I know my husband was fond of you. And he said you were the nicest person he ever met, besides me, of course. I said, of course. I mean, she called me. She didn't text me.
So I shared that just because it's yet another example of someone passing away and her kind of having some sort of knowing that they have passed away. And obviously that clip had a little bit of a spoiler regarding my full moon spirit box session. But it is telling that he was fond enough of her that even his own wife knew to call Betsy when he passed away and tell her personally that he had passed. Let me go back even further. In her childhood, her father worked for the Pentagon and, cannot talk about his job, worked for the Pentagon. And
let's loop back to the superstitions episode where you're like, can we please just get it in order?
Well, I'm telling you what I learned in the coffee shop.
Okay, so this is chronological for you. Okay, gotcha.
I guess I could have started from her childhood. Her dad.
No, don't overthink it. I was just giving you shit because of what you guys said to me.
No, you're right. So
it wasn't just you, it was 4 of you, 5 of you who were just
you were wrangling cats. It's
oh
fine.
my God.
So her father worked for the Pentagon, and you mentioned that when you were a kid, he worked remotely in California, I think, in this building. That
Yes. Okay, so it was in Pasadena. He had a building. He went back east to the Pentagon, but he also worked 2 weeks there, 2 weeks at home, and it was in Pasadena. It was an old hospital.
Oh.
Old. They turned it into kind of an office, and they rented rooms, and he was on the second floor. So we go in, and we have our dog, and it was a Saturday. I said, hey, I'll come. I have nothing to do. I think I was about, I want to say 11, maybe 12, 13, I don't know. And the dog wouldn't go in the door. The dog is shaking. Timmy, he's a golden retriever. And I was like, what's wrong with the dog? My dad goes, oh, I should probably tell you, it's kind of haunted in here. And I went, oh, thanks, Dad. So we took the dog back in the car, locked the car, we went in. It was creepy, but I was like, no. And so we went in the elevator, went up to the second floor. We walked into his office. He had a kind of a 2 office, and then there was an open door, and then I was hanging out here. Kind of like a little waiting room, but had a desk, and I think probably his secretary or whatever sat there. There was a table. Yeah,
but it was a Saturday.
Yeah, nobody was there.
Okay.
All of a sudden, you hear the elevator going up and down and up and down. Because I was like, what's that noise? My dad's in there working and go, what? I go, but there's a noise. I think the elevator. Oh, well, the elevator does that. I go, what do you mean it does that? Well, it goes up and down, and, it's probably a ghost, but just don't tell your mother. I go, okay. So I go out to the hall, I tiptoe, and sure enough, it stopped. And then I wait a little while, and then it goes, you can see the button, and then it goes down and up. I didn't actually see any, visions or any ghosts or anything, but the elevator was up and down. Most of the time we were there.
Wow.
It was pretty creepy. And he did say this is known to be a very haunted building.
Oh.
But the dog thing is interesting. They say animals are sensitive to that.
Yeah.
Very sensitive.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking shaking like this.
Wow.
And
Trembling.
trying to get him in, trembling. Trying to get him in, come on. And then there was no way, so it was interesting. Yeah.
Oh, creepy.
Wow.
She told her dad about it, and he was like, yeah, the building might be haunted. Just don't worry about it.
Okay, whoops.
You kind of start out with that, and based on her father's reaction, don't worry about it. It's fine. It just is what it is. So there's that relationship, and then a depth there involving her father. They were pretty close, and pennies, he was big into superstition, and the find a penny, pick it up for good luck. After he died, she started finding pennies in very specific places, like that told her that it was from him specifically.
Aw.
So he died in 2005. I get the call at work, your father, you need to come. And he wants to be cremated. I already knew that. So they set a date. So I went to the home and they told me where to go. It's in Puyallup. Picked up his ashes, and I put it in my car, and I was going to go up and see my sisters, Susie and Kathy. We're going to go up and put him in, and spread his ashes in the ocean up in Marysville. So I put, I literally, come out, I put it down, and the next thing I know, there's a penny on the seat of the car faced up. Yeah, interesting.
Right after you've gone to pick up his ashes.
Mm-hmm. How he ever did that, I don't know.
Also, around the same time that activity really picked up in her house, about 8 of her friends all died, like within a year or so of time.
Oh.
They're in their 60s, 70s, maybe 80s, and there's a lot of like cancer, aggressive cancers and things. So a lot of her friends, she had a long list of friends who died in a short period of time. She told me the story about how she got into her car one time, and she does not listen to country, but it was on a country station. And she was like, okay, whatever, fine. And she's listening along. And then she looks down at her console and it says, "To Betsy, heaven." And she was just like, oh my God, that's from my friend. Like, so she knew she had one friend that she associated that with. I believe it was shortly after a specific friend had passed away, she was receiving this message from them. So, little things. Now, I did look it up. There is a newish country song called Heavens to Betsy. And so chances are that was playing on the radio and she saw it. But also it's kind of like the whole spirit box thing, like things coming through and the timing and, do you interpret it to be something spiritual or not? And that's up to the person. But she definitely felt that it was owed to a very specific person in her life who had recently passed away, and they were letting her know that they made it across and were in heaven.
Yep.
I'm just telling these stories to kind of give the back story into her as a person, the experiences that she's had. She definitely feels like she gets visited a lot by people who have passed away, whoever they may be, maybe close to her, maybe even not necessarily. Now, in the conversation about the Pentagon, again, this is relevant. She was talking about how she tried to get her dad oftentimes to like tell her, like, so tell me your secrets. What's going on? What's happening at the Pentagon and who really killed JFK? And he was like, well, I actually don't know, but it probably was us. And he told her, he'd promised her that on his deathbed, he would, let her pick his brain. But he happened to die in, I want to say, like a memory care facility. And she didn't get to be there at his deathbed and never got to learn his sweet Pentagon secrets. But we were talking about all of this in this coffee shop, the Pentagon, like government conspiracies and secrets, and talking about ghosts and all of these things. And it's after this encounter with her sitting down and learning all of these things at this coffee shop that I come home and my phone starts acting insane. And this is the story that we've shared on Instagram. We made a little quick reel about it, but we have not shared it so far on the show. So I get home and my phone is acting really funny. It's not doing what it's supposed to be, and it is doing things that I haven't told it to do, and it's ignoring things that I'm telling it to do, first of all. Secondly, we do get to a point in the day where suddenly my phone, I pick it up, and it just starts really quickly, just like going from screen to screen all over the place on the phone in very quick succession. And so quick that I can't even necessarily make out what the heck it's doing. I do see it like go into an email and zoom in on the email and then go to another page. And then it stops after like a few seconds of that. And I'm a little like stunned.
That's because you were talking to somebody that had government secrets.
I remember this too. You were like, could it be real? But I feel like you very quickly talked yourself out of it.
Well, I had several different explanations, and this is why I bring up the Pentagon thing. So hold on. So listeners, what happened was, okay, at that moment, I decided to see what it had done. So going in reverse of what it's done, it has turned off my Bluetooth and my Wi-Fi and gone into airplane mode. So that was the last thing it had done.
Mm-hmm.
So I put those things back on and I closed my little pull down menu. And the screen that's up is in the settings, and it's talking about VPN, and it's showing no VPN. I was like, all right, interesting. And I closed that. And then the next thing that's open is the email. I had watched it open the email and zoom in, and it's zoomed into one of my husband's emails because I'm signed on to his account because I'm basically his secretary. But he's an electrician, and it was like an electrical GFI protections newsletter, and it had zoomed into the words protect yourself on the screen. So to put it all back together in the way that it must have been happening in real time, it zooms into the words protect yourself, goes into my VPN settings, which shows no VPN, right? No, in other words, like I don't have that sort of protection set up on my phone, and then goes into the pull down menu and puts me in airplane mode.
That was fucking Betsy's dad. He was like, I'm here. This girl's not safe. Betsy loves her. We're going to take care of her. That's what it was.
Yeah, maybe.
Totally.
So yeah, okay, I love that. I hadn't even thought of that. That's fun, and she'll probably love that too. Maybe it was her dad.
He knows all about security, and he's like, we got to protect this girl.
You idiot! Get rid of this phone. They're listening. I thought immediately. I thought, well, what if somebody, remote control hacked my phone? What if somebody was overhearing us and we were having these sort of like deep conversation and talking about government conspiracies? What if some nerd, some funny, like smart hacker computer person, I guess you don't necessarily have to be a nerd. I just like the word nerd.
Yeah.
I use it affectionately, people.
Nerds are good.
Anyway.
We love nerds.
What if some person overheard us and had hacked into my phone and could see that I was totally wide open to attack, and just to freak me out, did all of this crap real quick to freak me out and to warn me? It is possible that could happen. I do have techie friends who said, yes, that is possible, but you're not.
I'm so sorry. I'm a little confused. So I guess it doesn't matter where you were. So they hacked into you when they saw you at the thing, but this stuff happened to you at your home?
At home, yeah.
Oh.
Once somebody has remote access to your phone,
they can get you no matter where you
are. Yeah.
Okay.
There's even code that they can
inject.
Like you can accidentally download it or whatever by opening something, and yeah, they can put a code on your phone that can make your phone do certain commands and behaviors that they have pre-written. So these are all real things, and these are all things that I learned after this happened as I was investigating, like, could this have actually been a technological thing? But obviously in the back of my mind, Betsy definitely thinks that it was some sort of like ghost thing, like trying to tell me to protect myself. And so I just kind of wanted to put that out there, because that's one of those open-ended situations where it kind of is just like open to interpretation as to what happened. Was it just a freak coincidence? Was it somebody a friendly hacker? Was it a ghost, possessing my phone, trying to warn me to like protect myself? I don't know, but it was cray. It was a crazy experience. So moving on though, back to the house, she has pages and pages and pages of notes, and I have pulled those open so I can share them with you guys. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I hope that this is interesting. Page 1 of her notes, 2019. She's so organized. It's great. So 2019, October 9th.
Whoa.
She's got whispers, loud,
exclamation point.
Yeah. October what does that say? Late PM, late at night. October 20th, whispers, laundry room, lights and deck on off. She told me that story. She said what happened. She said that night, for whatever reason, the light in her laundry room and on the deck in the backyard, because they're all probably on one circuit, they're all together. None of them would turn on. She was flipping the switch and they just, for whatever reason, wouldn't turn on. And so she was troubleshooting. She went and changed the light bulbs and nothing worked. And she was like, dang it, I'm going to have to get Steve over to, look at my house. And by that, of course, I mean my Steve, my husband, who is an electrician, not Steve from her own past. But then the next morning she woke up and they worked just fine. And it never happened again. So the deck, those lights wouldn't turn on that one time. Then she's got October 25th, whispers, a bad smell. They have a lot of
creepy.
Smells, a lot of smells in the house. October 28th, an object moved. And she says, see no evil. Oh, this is her statue, the see no evil statue. Oh, that's what it is. It's the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
Yeah.
Well, is that another like spiritual connection there? So her see no evil statue had been turned around or moved. Furnace was humming late in the evening. One of these that's coming up, though, is the craziest story that I have heard so far. Jazzy barking, that's their dog. Jazzy was barking at the TV.
Oh.
Front door key found on the kitchen counter. Light in the laundry room, brighter. One bulb only.
Yikes.
Jazzy barking at the TV, late evening. And it would be off. That's kind of the big catcher in these stories with the dog barking. The dog would just kind of stand there and it's that same wall that moves. That wall the dog would bark at all the time.
Yikes, bro.
Here we go. November 18th, hairdryer went on after her daughter left the room. Loud. So she says her daughter left the room. I don't know if she left the room or the house, but the story is...
Okay, so I'm in the living room, laying on the couch reading a book. And the hutch, which is sort of in a dining room where my table is, and to the right is a chair. And on that chair is my hair dryer. And I'm laying there and I hear it turn on. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And I jump up. My hair dryer's on. I walk over and the cord is wrapped around the whole hair dryer. It's not plugged in and it's sitting there on. And I thought, oh my God. So I turned it off and I went back and just finished reading my book. And
Wow.
it's never done it again.
Oh, unplugged.
That's what she says. That is what she says. Isn't that like the craziest?
That's
wild.
creepy.
That is
Wild.
I was
How?
like, no way.
I mean,
no way.
I thought my story about my fan turning on by itself was crazy. That is the craziest electronic story I've heard. Probably. That's amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah. Tacoma Rocks, there was in the kitchen sink, said, keep on talking.
So that was like a quote on the rock?
On the
guessing?
rock, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like monkey shines, but just rocks that have been painted. So she had this one that says, keep on talking, and it was from her daughter's room, and she found it in the kitchen sink.
Weird.
And I had asked her, like, well, could it have been your daughter? And she was like, no, I don't think so. Like, why? I think she even asked her daughter, and she said no. Dog barking again at the wall before bedtime. Strong odor. I'm sleeping on the couch and the computer turned on, noisy and bright. Scary.
So that says scary. Like, how is she feeling being in this house? Like, she pretty calm most of the time?
Yeah, she's a pretty calm person. She does say scary. She does say freaky when she puts it in writing. She has only ever expressed to me that she feels positive. She feels very positive about whatever is in her house and that it's not bad.
Yeah. I think in the beginning I was a little bit scared and freaky. And then I just decided to, you know what? It is what it is. Mm-hmm. And I mean, even now, I like when the radio thing, I'm sound asleep in the middle of the night. It's weird. I was freaked out. But, and then the turning down the bed, and I try to talk and say, oh, we welcome you spirits. There's no evil in this house. We're a family. But I do know that nothing really weird or evil has ever happened. It's just they're moving around.
So tell me what your boundaries are.
Well, they are not allowed in my bathroom downstairs. That's where I change every day. So, yeah, I have said that. And I feel like I don't sense anything in there ever.
And for the most part, I think she assumes that it's her friends who have passed away coming to visit her. But she does write, like in text messages, she'll be like, oh my God, it happened again. My bed sheet is turned down. Freaky. It's not going to be in these notes because this happened after I took all these pictures of the notes. But just this past fall, she went away to Italy for a couple of weeks and she was packing. So her bedroom was a mess and things were just, in disarray. She said she left specifically on an errand with her daughter. So they were both gone and the house was empty. Came home and everything was like tidy. And there was a robe just very neatly put down on the end of the bed. A robe that she says, she's like, that robe is only ever thrown on the chair or it's hanging downstairs. And she said, and I had left this place a mess and it's been made and the bed sheet is turned down.
I think she has a house brownie.
What is a house brownie?
It fits the lore perfectly. So house brownie is it's a UK thing. The house brownie is like a helpful spirit. They tend to live in like the hearth or like the fireplace, but they can be around and they might do like little tasks and they try to be helpful, but they also can be kind of tricky and do things that are trickster-ish. But for the most part, they're pretty benevolent, or at least at a minimum neutral, unless you offend them for some reason, and then they can become assholes. So but they will like take stuff and move things around. They might tidy up. They might do that. And so in the UK, from what I recall of the lore, if you had a house brownie, you just were polite and you expressed thanks and you just left it. Like you didn't say much else about it. Like it was just an accepted part of the household.
Wow. I'll tell her.
I mean, I'll be honest. I think there's more going on, but I do think there maybe is a possibility she's got a house brownie.
Is it named Abbey?
Let's see. Jazzy barking at the TV. Computer turned on scary. Whispers that her daughter heard.
Ooh.
A lot of these, very few of these things seem to ever happen with like involving her daughter, other than her daughter smells perfume upstairs a lot. Like there will just all of a sudden be this old lady perfume and her mom and her daughter will just kind of be like, I can like, there's that perfume smell is back. So Betsy will go up there and sniff around and she'll be like, yep, I smell it. It's definitely like an old lady perfume.
That's crazy.
Knocking on the front door late at night, light in the bathroom, on, off. Okay. So there we go. A light did go on and off. 2020, Penny dropped on the deck on Father's Day.
Oh.
So that's her dad. I'm upset. Something down the stairs.
Here's a little story for you. So my daughter fell down the stairs and it was pretty significant. She was okay, but it kind of freaked me out. And she was limping around and, I put her on the couch. And anyway, I went outside and sat on the deck. It was daytime, like morning, maybe mid-morning, and I was crying. And the next thing I know, there's a penny over my head and landing right by my foot, heads up. So that was definitely my dad, because when I was little, we'd go for walks and hold our hands. I was pretty small, not super, I wasn't a toddler, but I was a little older. And he says, hey, if you ever see a penny with a face up, someone in heaven is thinking of you. Oh. And I go, oh. And so I pick up a penny when we walk around, if I see one. And then from then on, I always did that. I have a jar full of pennies, that I have picked up that with their head up. So someone's thinking of me. And I picked up that penny and I knew right away my daughter would be all right. She'd be okay.
Oh.
But that was an interesting time. So at first I thought it was a crow. The crows that come and they're always picking
pick up shiny
things.
things.
They pick up stuff.
Yeah.
And at first I thought a crow did it.
Reasonable, totally reasonable.
And I looked around. There's no birds around. There's nothing. And when I looked down, I realized it was my father.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that I've had that other times with that too. That was just one time.
And it was Father's Day. Her father was trying to console her.
Oh,
That's so sweet. Orbs, 6 orbs in the sky in
Yikes.
front of me, she says. Wow.
What does that mean exactly? 6 orbs?
You wrote 6 orbs in the sky.
Oh, right. On the deck, it was summer. It was hot. I was reading a book, and just like, and I look up, and there's these orbs, like, doot, doot, doot.
Just floating around each other.
You know, in the sky, like right over there. Like, but it was
so like 20 feet away, right over there, higher.
High.
Okay.
Above
At like
the trees,
a
above the
45-degree
trees.
angle is the motion. It's just for listeners to get a visual of what your hand motions
and
are.
I'm sitting there going, what? So I stand up and I like, what the heck? And so I looked for my phone because I wanted to take a picture, and it was the weirdest thing. So I looked around and I got my phone, went like this, and they were gone.
Classic.
But it was clear. I mean, what?
Were they colorful? Like what?
White.
White orbs, 6 of them.
6 of them.
What?
And they were just kind of like this, just hanging.
So hovering pretty kind of.
Hovering over the tree tops, you know, the big trees, you know, if you sit on my deck.
So they might have been large.
Oh, yeah.
You're making them look.
Yeah, they look like,
you know,
little
like
tennis balls.
Like tennis ball
Yeah.
size, but because they were so far away and up high, they may have very well have been larger.
That was really strange because, I didn't get a picture, but almost.
So, let's see. Yeah, skeleton turned to the side on her bookcase. That was the Hear No Evil skeleton. Kitchen noises at 2 a.m.
Yikes.
Skeleton moved to the right again on the bookcase.
Oh, on bookcase, okay.
Picture above the gas fireplace wiggling inside the picture.
Whoa.
Ugh.
Flowers in the vase, petals blowing around. About a week later, skeleton legs moving. Okay, so same picture, objects wiggling inside the frame. And then December, the gnome's legs are moved. Okay, so the gnome thing on the staircase has happened before.
Yikes.
Yo. Santa's arm is raised up. She wrote freaky next to that one in quotes. I don't know why that one freaked her out. That's so bed turned down, dining room lights off on. Ugh. Okay. Head of the African ornamental turned around on my mantle.
I
So
have a very important question.
yeah.
This ghost that's turning down her bed, is there any hint of chocolate smell on the pillows? I mean, that's part of turn down service, right? Chocolate on the pillow. Like, come on.
Was that a dad joke?
I mean,
No, that was a legitimate question. Come on. I want my chocolate.
Easter eggs moved from the kitchen to the bookcase. So again, and those are things, the bookcase is on that wall. The mantle is on that wall. The fireplace is on that wall. So all of these things where the stuff is being like moved around is in relation to that one wall that she says she sees moving, and the dog barked at that wall. So something's up. Maybe there's I've suggested to her, like, maybe there's a portal. I was like, have you ever touched it when it's wiggling?
I think that's possible. I also suspect, given her life and the transient nature of the people that she was helping, it's possible she's picked up a bunch of things. It sounds like she's just one of those people who's a little bit of a magnet because she's sensitive. That's not uncommon. So I think there's a possibility she has a house brownie. I think that it seems like her dad is there. I think that there are probably other things who want her to believe that they're her friends because that just works better for them. It sounds like there's quite a bit in and around her, honestly.
Right. So we're talking about how, so in March, her little Easter egg decorations were moved from the kitchen to the bookcase. And I was talking about how, by the way, these bookcases, the mantle, the fireplace, those are all there against that wall. The dining room lights off, on. The dining room is adjacent to that room and has a connected wall. April 30th, a room key was found under the bathroom mat. That's weird.
Weird.
Light turned on in the dining room at 5 a.m. May 5th, my slipper behind the toilet downstairs.
Weird.
And I wonder if their dog is still alive at this point.
That makes me wonder. Yeah, that sounds like a dog thing.
Right? The key under the mat, though, is a little weird.
Who is thumping? Is that your kids?
It's my kids upstairs.
It's creepy. It's very scary right now, given all of the things that you're talking about.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. So for the record, she had mentioned that things were getting messed with in her bathroom, and that was why she decided to set that specific boundary in her bathroom. So these are probably some of the things that she was talking about. Anyway, whispers in the dining room. I'm on couch. Okay, that's about herself. I'm on the couch, and I'm hearing whispers in the dining room, is her note. Yeah, so that's freaky. June 4th, strong perfume smell on the stairs. Daughter has been smelling old lady perfume for weeks.
Dang.
July 18th, ceiling light in the den was on, off. Okay, man, I don't even remember all, like, her. I know
crazy.
I made her read through and explain everything to me, and I don't even remember all the stories about the lights going on and off.
Has any of you experienced that type of thing happening in a house? The lights going on and off just randomly?
The lights in the house where I work flicker a lot, but they don't go all the way off usually. Sometimes they do, but it's also an old house, so it's almost 100 years old. It could just be wiring. That's shit. So
I think I would remember if I'd been in like a situation where the lights were going on and off on their own.
Does she mean that the like switch is going on and off, or the lights themselves?
I mean, the lights, I think. The lights going on and off. Yeah. Ugh. Okay, so 2021, voice whispered my name in my ear. Betsy.
Oh,
I remember that one. She's like, it was like they were right next to her head and whispered in her ear, Betsy. Nice touch,
Yikes.
JT. Thank you. Plant picture is moving inside. So, picture inside. Oh, plant and picture are moving. Okay. Water bottle fell in the kitchen. That one seems a little more mundane.
Mm-hmm.
Light on the mantle turned on and off. My bed turned down. Very creepy, she writes. So, I mean, yeah, it seems like at some point it must have creeped her out. But she's been, at this point, we're in 2026 now. This is back in 2021 she's talking about this. So maybe at some point it freaked her out, but she is not freaked out now. What are you reading?
It's just over and over again. Bed turned down. Bed turned down again.
Turned down. Yeah. Living room. Let's see. My bed turned down. Very creepy. Bed turned down. Living room movements in the picture. A cat book. Man.
Does that say okay?
Etc.
Oh.
Is it Eritrean?
I think she means.
Eritrean. I think that's
the Eritrean man. Yeah.
That must be the statue moving on July 2nd. The living room movements, picture, cat book, man, etc. Okay. All right. So the living room movements. This is when the Eritrean man was moving. July 16th. Living room movements, vibration from the pictures, and also my bedroom this time.
Dang.
September 24th. The Halloween skeleton moved its position on the mantle. Light on, then off. Headset fell off the counter. Ugh.
Yeah. It seems like a couple times a month something is happening to her. That's pretty consistent.
I mean, sometimes. So here, nothing happened in February.
Yeah.
June, July. Nothing happened in August. 2021. She had a few in November. And then December. And this year that happened too. And this year I had the thought, okay, well, October 31st, like the veil is supposed to be really thin. Maybe, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that one of the myths?
That's kind of what I was looking for. Is there like a correlation with how often, like, is there a time of year it's more likely? But it seems pretty evenly spread.
I have looked for patterns, and as I find more information, I keep going back and double checking. I've gone back to the lunar calendar of that year to see if there's like a moon relation.
Yeah, smart.
All that kind of stuff. And so far, there hasn't really been a pattern that I can see that Other than it just sporadically happens. Although the November, so right after Halloween, she had 1, 2, 3, the picture moving, bed turned down, the gnome was moved. And so let's see, in 2000, that was 2021, 2022. Here we go. Couple in November.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, August, blackout. All lights in the downstairs and the porch lights went off.
Nope.
Then
nope.
back on.
Don't like that.
She wrote.
Nope.
Huh. Wow. Light flickering on the ceiling. Chair
Yikes.
next to the couch. Sounded like somebody sat in it.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool. Yikes. November 10th, the picture was moving again. The wavy motions. November 21st, picture, plant, blankets on the couch, plant in the window, all moving the whole side, that whole side of the room. So that almost seems like that. Have you noticed a build? This is the first time I'm noticing this pattern where it's like as she is experiencing weird things happening on this wall, it builds and becomes more and more each time.
Yeah.
Shit.
It does seem like that.
This is the first time I'm noticing that. January, her daughter reports after folding and something down dirty towels in the laundry basket, she turns around and one flew out. What? Oh my gosh.
Creepy.
Holy smokes.
Exclamation point, she says.
Yeah.
Oh my.
January 9th and 23rd, pebble on my shoe. Put under my wicker stand. Next day, it's out and on the floor by the toilet.
Wait,
2 times she
her
wrote.
shoe or the pebble?
I don't know. Pebble on my shoe.
Put under my wicker stand. So maybe she put the shoe under the wicker stand and the next day it's out and on the floor by the toilet. That's not the first time she's had shoes by the toilet.
Yeah, that's right. She said her slipper was by the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
And this one happened on both. She said it happened 2 times. So once on the 9th and once on the 23rd of January. January 25th. This is 2023. While sleeping, heard lots of noise in the kitchen. Rattling, movement, general banging around. Got up 3 times to check and saw nothing.
Damn.
You know, for her to be like, yeah, I feel totally safe and positive. I'm like,
what?
I don't know if I would feel
creepy
that way.
stuff.
This is super creepy stuff.
It's pretty freaky.
I mean, like, after a while, though, she probably, like, her tolerance level is just like, well, this isn't as weird as some of the other things I've seen. You know, like, you've got to build up, like, a tolerance after a while.
You know, yeah, exactly. And she's like, well, this is my house. I'm not leaving, so.
Yeah. And nothing has been violent, you know, like, weird.
And
Does
I
she
need
get
to make
mad
sure
when they don't turn the bed down?
We should see what happens. I don't know. We don't want her to piss him off. But I should probably tell her to be more careful. I will give a spoiler alert. The last time we did a spirit box session, she welcomed whatever is in her house. Like, you are welcome anytime.
Nope.
And I was just like, I felt it deep in my core. I was like, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that, but okay. Like,
No.
Anyway, so let's see. Now we are on to, did I go back? Oh, the pebble on the shoe and then all the rattling of the pans.
Mm-hmm.
So 2023, though, a bunch of stuff happened in January and some of the most disturbing things, okay? That's when the towel flew out of the basket. Her shoe is being moved 2 times in a row. And then the banging around at the pots and pans. And then you get something in February, noises during the night, skeleton turned around in the bookcase when I woke up. Something, leg lamp fell. Oh, her daughter's leg lamp fell across the room, double exclamation point. So there's a real escalation happening here in January and early February, and then it stops until May.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's nothing again until September, and then nothing again until December that year. So that was actually a very light. So there's a huge escalation, and then it chills the F out.
You know, some of that could be like there was a big expenditure of energy, and then it needed to like recoup the energy it lost. Like that could be part of what that is it just didn't have enough energy to be as consistent as usual.
Okay.
Because those were big explosions of things.
I'm building a theory that was already starting to come into my mind. So I have something I need to confirm, and I wonder if her daughter is the energy source.
Mm.
I'm going to look into that. I already kind of suspect it. But anyway, so May of that year, dining room light went on. Then September, nothing happened until Penny heads up on the seat of my car. Dad? I know she thinks that one was her dad for sure. Then December 7th, my bed turned down, pillows propped up. So we haven't seen that one happen for a real long time. And now it's been a year almost since the bed got turned down.
I feel like the bed turned down is actually, there's something positive there. That one is kind. So
Yeah.
it does, like, the difference in the activity does kind of, for me, confirm there's more than one thing in the house.
Yeah.
And the thing that's kind maybe sometimes gets pushed out by whatever this other chaotic thing is.
Oh. Huh.
Or is it going through mood swings?
Or yeah, maybe it's bipolar. I don't think so, but that's a possibility.
Okay, so we've got 2024, January, late. She doesn't know the exact date. The picture is waving. So now a year later, after things had escalated and things were going crazy, that wall is moving again. Again in January, that wall is moving again. The plants and the pictures, photo are all moving. Sounds like nose sniffing loudly. Huh. Yes, I guess so. Thanks. Oh, this one, February 28th. On my cell phone heard, I'm just leaving on my way home.
What?
As clear as a bell. Like through the phone. Double question
Weird.
mark. Huh. That is weird. Then again, there's another skip for a few months.
Big gap.
May. I want to pay attention. May. Dining room light went on. May. Living room picture. Frame of me, mom, and sister.
That's the same gap. So from February to May, and then again February to May.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yep. So, and this is the wall moving again. Plant, cat bed, all moving around. So by this time the dog is gone and now they have this cat that adopted them. Okay.
Just be, staring at it and barking. And I noticed that. Yeah, that she did that a lot. Animals are very sensitive to spirits.
When did Jazzy pass away?
COVID. So July
2020.
2020,
Okay.
and the cat walked in the door the next day.
Oh, shut up.
Yes. Kitty. Well, I would see the cat on top of the fence staring at us. So then I talked to my neighbor over the fence. Oh, it's just a feral cat running around. I said, no, that cat's not feral. It's a little chubby cat. It lives somewhere. And she says, well, I don't know. And then I asked my neighbors. They go, oh yeah, I think she's behind the alley. And it didn't matter. I didn't know where the cat came from. So then Jazzy died. Well, she was dying. She was old and she wasn't able to walk. So I had to put her down. And the very next day, it was hot. I left the back door open, and she just walked in and never left. like she'd been there. This is weird. The weird part is she just like, wow, and then jumped up, and she found her little spot that she still likes to sleep in. Like she's there. So, and I called her Kitty, thinking she would leave.
She'd always
she
been
doesn't
there.
leave. That was
trying to offend her.
It's 2026. I didn't even know anything about her until Terry and I were walking in the alley last summer. There's a woman pulling weeds in the alley. Terry goes, we're curious about this orange cat. That is your cat? She goes, well, yeah, that was my cat, and she had a litter, and one kitten died, and she gave one away, and then they kept Rainbow, which is black and white. The cat.
I've seen Rainbow.
Yeah, and that's her.
And Kitty doesn't like her, right?
That's her own child. She's no mother for sure. She pooped the babies out and came over. Like she's done. She's not having any. I go, I'm so sorry. I go, the cat just walked in. She goes, yeah, well, the cat's name was Butter Rum. And then their little boy goes, are you going to steal our other cat? And Terry goes, okay, well, we didn't actually do that. The cat just sort of came over and you tried. And cats are cats. And the lady goes, I'm sorry, my son said that. We know the cat does what they want to do. And the next day she left a vase of flowers on my porch.
Oh,
I know.
that's really nice.
I know. Because I felt bad. And there was times when I okay, go, you need to go home, scoot the cat out, and then comes back. I mean, it just, she just took over. It was like she'd been there. Like maybe the cat's a ghost. I mean, the way it walked in, it was home, But that, seriously, when the cat walked in, it was like it'd been there. It knew, it went to the favorite little spots, here, there, sat around, never left, ever.
Yeah.
And it was just one day after Jazzy died, so that's kind of odd, don't you think? So it was like it was planning her escape. And just waiting for the dog to go. God, it was the weirdest thing ever. Yeah.
So no more Jazzy barking because Jazzy did pass away at some point. And so that's why that's not coming up anymore. But I bet it probably would have a lot. So then again, May, 3 almonds lined up on the kitchen counter.
I love the little picture she has.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just really nice and tidy in a row. Very deliberately looking. Heavy.
Recently eating almonds out of a baggie.
Out of a baggie. So, okay.
Oh.
So that's a note about herself. I was recently eating almonds out of the baggie, and then I came into the kitchen and found 3 of them lined up perfectly on the counter. Wow. Bed turned down in my room in June. Skips to August. Heard a voice say group 5 3 times. A woman's voice say group 5. Yeah. She thought that one was real weird. And she said it was very robotic and orderly. Group 5. Like somebody was announcing it for somebody to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were sitting there theorizing about what the hell that could mean. I was like, maybe you're hearing another dimension, or maybe it's something you're going to hear in the future.
Yeah.
We knew she was going to go traveling somewhere. I was like, an airport announcing which group can board a plane. I don't know. Okay, August. This is again in August. Carpet moving. I'm on the couch, and the picture above the fireplace is moving all around. So this is all 2024, August. Man's face in the picture moving the lips 3 times. Across the room, everything wavy. Another dimension? Question mark.
You're
right,
right,
so she
Abby.
did also have that thought.
Growing.
Yeah.
It was just one picture once, right? And now it's everything.
Let's just go back to confirm real quick. 2019. Laundry room. Jazzy barking at the TV late in the evening. So the dog, it started with nothing that they could see or hear, but the dog was barking at the wall.
Yeah.
Or the TV against the wall. They think he's barking at the TV.
But maybe it's the wall.
I think she was barking at the wall. So nothing in the wall has moved that whole first year, but she's had lots of activity. Some strong stuff. That's the year that the hair dryer was on. Hair dryer went on November 18th. And look, same pattern. Okay. Oh my God, look at all this crap that happened in November that year.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. So October. This is when she first started
keeping a log. I'm looking for the very first time something was wavy.
Yeah. Okay, let me go.
There it is. Just November 18th. Picture above gas fireplace wiggling inside the picture. Flowers in vase blowing around. So it's literally just one picture. Same picture wiggling inside the frame.
Yeah.
That same month.
In the same month. And 2 weeks prior to that, on November 1st, the skeleton was moved to the right again on the bookcase. And that bookcase is a part of this too.
So that's for sure a big pattern.
She has that gas fireplace?
It's deactivated. It doesn't work.
So there's no gas running through it.
True. Yes, that is correct. But yeah, you mean is she hallucinating because she's getting gas poisoning?
No, is it affecting her vision as gas goes up the wall and makes things wavy?
I have confirmed with her that the city came and closed up, sealed up, turned off, whatever they needed to do, they came and took care of that fireplace to make sure it wasn't an issue.
It's concerning to me that this thing is growing in intensity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it means, but that concerns me. What is going to happen? What is the zenith of that going to look like?
So, yeah, this is 2021.
I think we were in 2024.
Yeah. So 2024, carpet moving.
There it says everything.
Everything.
September.
Wavy. Another dimension. September. October. Picture moving. Faces in the background. Little man dancing. So those are the things on the wall. November 1st. Driving car. Radio station set at 107.0 country music, which she does not listen to. And To Betsy appeared on the screen. Minutes later, the word heaven appeared under my name. My boss at the company I work for had just died. Friends for 40 years.
Aww.
So she directly ties those two things together. Then on the November 3rd, bed upstairs turned down. So this is a pattern I hadn't noticed before. November is always a heavy month.
Mm-hmm. It's the easiest time.
Faces in the front door, plants, pictures, all moving rapidly in the living room.
What does that mean, faces in the front door?
I'm not sure.
Does she have like a glass front door or?
No, faces in the front door. I'm not 100% sure what that means. I can say that more than once in 2025, after this point in the coffee shop, she would be sitting on the couch reading a book on her Kindle, and somehow in the reflection of the Kindle, she would see what appeared to be a grotesque, elderly, curmudgeon-y looking man looking in at her from outside her window, and he had a lesion on his face. And it would freak her out, and she would sit up and look out the window, and there'd be no one there. So that's one of the stories that she has told me where I could tell that she is not fond of whatever that is. And her boyfriend and one of his friends actually installed a little pull-down shade for her on that window so that she can close it, and apparently that helped. That made it stop. 2025, bed turned down, pictures in the living room moving, plant by the window moving, saw a man's face in my large picture, creepy. So, yeah. She has been telling me, so, and then tons of stuff happened after that, tons. This is a continued thing, and right here, right now, our panel has observed a little bit of a pattern where there's definitely a pickup every November, and sometimes there's a gap
between February to May.
And then the escalation of the things on the wall. So that's all very something. And that is the story of her house as far as I had known of it back in, this must have been March.
Yeah. I think she might be very porous, and I think that she's a little bit of a beacon. And I think they come and go maybe through her house, but there's definitely, it seems like at least 2 things in her house. And I am concerned. There's at least 2, maybe I can pick out already 3 distinct things, but I suspect there's many, many more, probably a little collection of things that come and go. And I'm actually a little bit worried about her, to be honest. Like, yeah. The escalation is concerning.
I want to go in and smudge the place. And
yeah.
Be let's, if there's anything negative in here, let's tell it to leave.
She has to be the one to do that.
Yeah.
And she has to be very firm and very clear about that. If she has any fascination or interest, if there's any part of her at all that's open to this, it won't work. Or it will only work for a very short period of time. So she has to be the one. It's her home. It's her domain. I think she's right about Dad. I think Dad's a separate entity.
Okay.
So the bed turning down, I think, is something else that's maybe just in the house. That's one entity. I think Dad is a second, and he might come and go when he's able to, or I don't know exactly what the deal is with that. There is a third thing. It seems like there is, and it's hard to define, but for sure there is whatever is happening with the wall and the wavy pictures, the possession, to me, it speaks of possession of the images and being able to alter them so it looks like the lips are moving or somebody's singing or the pipe is smoking, or dancing. The being able to do that seems like maybe one entity.
I have a different theory on that.
The moving of objects could be that same entity, could be the good thing that moves down the bed. Like, so she's got keys that end up in weird places, the nuts that got lined up, shoes that end up all over the place, rocks that end up falling over, things that get moved off the counter. Potentially that's its own thing, or potentially it's the actions of one of the three things that we've identified. But there's at least 3 entities, I think.
Yeah.
And one of them seems a little bit more ominous than the other. And the fact that the hair dryer's on without being plugged in, that's crazy. That speaks to a wild amount of energy and ability. And I don't know where that came from. And I know you have a theory about the daughter kind of being a power source maybe, but like, yeah, that's like one of them. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's very weird. And I think at least 2 of them are intelligent. Possibly all 3 are intelligent, which is also really unusual. So that's interesting too. JT, what's your theory? I want to hear it.
My theory is that the wavy wall is actually a portal, and there are multiple entities that come and go. They don't necessarily stay, but they're entering through that portal, and then they either take off or they jack with something. And when it's wavy is when they're actually going through it.
Oh, that's a fun theory. I like that. I mean, it's a little less scary than Manzi's.
If it is a portal, whatever that is, that phenomenon increasing in size really is concerning to me.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious if anyone else has seen that phenomena.
I would love to, I wish that things had been different when I was there. You know, she was jet lagged. I was sick. Maybe someday I can go and see it.
She has a life partner and he lives there on the weekends. I think some things have happened when he's been there. They walked into the room once and both of the sides of their bed were turned down that time that he was there. And, but I don't know that he's seen any of these other intense things. I will say, though, that Betsy now makes her bed, closes the door, and locks it behind her every day now. And still, she and the boyfriend are coming home and finding that the corner has been turned down.
I know that if it weren't for the physical moving of things, I would be worried about black mold. And the toxicity can cause you to see things and experience things and to even hear things. But there is a physical component, which maybe there's a little bit of both happening. Maybe there is some mold in the house that's causing her to hallucinate. And there is other spirits there too. Like, I don't know. But what I've told other people is you should always be investigating the mundane first. Rule out the mundane stuff first. And then you know a little bit better what you're dealing with.
Thank you. I'm excited about episode 2. Episode 2, I've done 2 different spirit box sessions in her house. And each time I really didn't think I was getting much. There was a couple things we could hear in real time. And then afterward, listening to the recordings and really chewing on what is happening in the recordings, it's like, holy crap, like all of these actually seem really like relevant responses, a lot of them. So, to be continued, everybody.
Awesome.
This has been another episode of The Wandering Crow.
So, and then another story here. It was years later, so he died in 2005. My mom lived like 5 years later or something, 4 or 5 at least. So Kathy and I went together and got her ashes and put them in the car and went to the sandwich shop right around my corner of my house. We were sitting there eating, and she starts talking about Mom and how she just, they didn't really get along that well, and she never felt loved and all that. And she had it bad. And so we get the bill to pay, and Kathy got some change back, and it was a $1 bill, and on the back it said, "Kathy, I love you." No joke.
Shut up.
No joke. I said to her, "Put this away." This is Mom talking to you. This is Mom. Kathy, I love you.
I got goosebumps.
I know.